Welcome back. I said I would be back shortly with Clinching Scenarios for Week 16 of the NFL season, and here I am. Hard to believe, 2 weeks left this season. We get 4 straight days of NFL action. 1 game Christmas Friday, 3 games Saturday, 11 games Sunday, and of course the Monday night finale. So let's get to it. Okay, starting with the AFC. Here's the picture. Here's the picture so far. Kansas City at 13-1 is leading the conference. The Bills won the AFC East this past Saturday, and they moved into the number 2 seed because Pittsburgh lost their third in a row. And one of those three just happened to be the Buffalo, hence why Buffalo is at number 2. Both teams are 11-3. Tennessee Titans lead the AFC South at 10-4. As for the wild cards, they are Cleveland and Indianapolis at 10-4. And Miami at 9-5. The Baltimore Ravens are also 9-5, but conference record is the difference. And the Vegas Raiders, they're the other bubble team, barely at 7-7. Okay, so I'll go here the scenarios. I'll start in order by order of standings, and we'll start with Kansas City. Now, Kansas City didn't get the bye because yes, they won and Pittsburgh lost, but Buffalo won. So the race for number 1 is still open, sort of. But Kansas City can get a bye, get the bye and get home field. All they have to do is win or tie. That's it. Or the Steelers lose or tie, or the Bills lose or tie. There's also a fourth scenario involving straight to victory. We're not going to get into that because it's too long, too drawn out, and gives fans a headache. So either one of those three, and Kansas City gets home field. Okay. Pittsburgh. Oh, boy. Scenario's the same as it was last week. They can still win the AFC North. They have to win, or Cleveland has to lose, or both teams have to tie. Now, I mentioned Kansas City. Kansas City's hosting the Falcons. Pittsburgh's at home against Indy. That's going to be tough considering the way the Steelers have been playing lately. But usually home field should do it, but they've lost to Washington at home, so who knows? There's already the consensus is already saying that the big game between Pittsburgh and Cleveland on the final week could be for the division. More on Cleveland a little bit later. What else? Oh yeah. Tennessee. Tennessee's 10-4, first place in the South. They can get in the playoffs with a win. Simple. A win, a tie, and a Baltimore tie, or a loss from either Baltimore or Miami. Here's the problem, though. Tennessee's in Lambeau. That's on the Sunday night window. It's on the Sunday night window. So, yeah, that's going to be tough. They're going to have to hope that Baltimore and Miami lose because you don't survive Lambeau Field. They can win the division, though, to win, or if Indianapolis loses. That'll give them the South. You want to win the division because it means you get your first playoff game at home, whether it's the divisional round, whether it's the wildcard round or the divisional round, if you have that bye. Cleveland can end the longest playoff drought in the NFL. Not since 2002. That's right, 18 years. 18 years. They can make the playoffs for the first time in 18 years. Yes, I'm quoting Kanye. But anyway. How can Cleveland get in? With a win, and a Baltimore loss or tie, or a win, and a Miami loss or tie, or a win, and a Colts loss. If they tie, Baltimore or Miami could lose. Cleveland is on the road, but they're playing the New York Jets, so they pretty much got win number 11 sewn up. But, yes, Indy can get in. Indy can get in with a win and a Baltimore loss or tie, or a win or a Miami loss or tie. If they tie, Baltimore or Miami have to lose. And again, Indy is in Pittsburgh. And Miami faces the Raiders. And that's important too, because while Miami cannot clinch a spot this week, While Miami can't clinch a spot this week, the Raiders can be eliminated. If Miami beats the Raiders, they're out. But hey, Raiders, at least you beat the Chiefs. You better roll with that because that's your Super Bowl. So yeah, and Baltimore cannot be eliminated. Win, lose, or draw this week. The Baltimore Ravens cannot be eliminated from playoff contention after this week. So they'll still be alive into the final week. But if they lose, they're going to need some help. Okay. The NFC. The NFC. Here's the picture. Leading the pack, no pun intended. Packers are 11-3, number 1 in the conference. Number 2 is the Saints at 10-4. They had that bad loss. Well, not bad loss, but they had that loss to Kansas City. Seattle moved up to first place in the NFC West, and now they're 10-4. They hold the number 3 spot because the Saints have a better conference record. And number 4 goes without saying. Washington lost, but so did the Giants. So Washington leads the NFC East at 6-8. The wild cards are held by the Rams and Tampa Bay at 9-5, but the Rams head-to-head puts them at the 5 seed, which is a coveted spot because the number 5 seed plays whoever wins the East. Arizona holds the 7 seed at 8-6, and the bubble teams are Chicago and Minnesota. And yes, the rest of the NFC East is alive because NFC East. Okay. As far as clinching scenarios and standings order, we start with the Packers. We can get number 1 this week. Yes, we can. What has to happen, though? We have to win. Seattle has to lose or tie. If we tie, the Saints, we get number 1 if the Saints lose or tie, and if the Seahawks lose or tie. But both teams can't tie. If that happens, number 1's still up for grabs. It has to be one, the other, or both losing. But more on the Seattle game. More who Seattle plays later. The Saints can still win the division. Win or Tampa Bay loss or both teams tie. The Saints kick off Week 16 on Christmas with a home game against the Vikings, and that's an important game too because if the Saints beat the Vikings are eliminated. Merry Christmas! Oh man. Okay. Seattle. Now Seattle has a game against the Rams. Big game against the Rams, and that game is mostly for the division. But the Seahawks have to beat the Rams to clinch the division. Because if they lose or tie, if they tie, they still have first place, but they don't lock up the division because they haven't beat the Rams. And if they lose, that's head-to-head. Gone. They'll be back down to second place. But if they beat the Rams, they win the division. And that's on the late window for Sunday, 4:25 Eastern, 1:25 Pacific. Washington. Can you believe it? The NFC East, this crazy race, this bound to see who wants it the least, can finally be over. The Washington football team can win the NFC East for the first time in 5 years. What has to happen? They win, and the Giants loss or tie. If Washington ties, the Giants have to lose, and the game between Philly and Dallas has to end tied. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened. The NFC East has been completely unpredictable. Maybe for the wrong reasons, but it's been unpredictable. So I wouldn't be surprised if that second scenario happens. And Washington is at home against the Carolina Panthers, Ron Rivera's longtime former team. So that's going to be an interesting affair. And that's on the late window, 4:05 Eastern. The Rams. Oh boy. The Rams are in the playoffs for a win or Chicago loss or tie or Arizona win or tie. Now, again, we have to count on the Rams, the same Rams who lost to the Jets at home, mind you, to help us get number 1. But a lot of Packer fans have that sentiment, we just need just win out. The hell with what the Rams do. If the Rams beat Seattle, great. If not, as long as we win, who cares? Because we control Destiny anyway. If we win out, we get number 1. But if we win that game against Tennessee, that's going to be really important because we're at home. Because the final week we're going to be headed to Chicago, and that's Aaron Rodgers' punching bag right there. So yeah, but the Rams are in with a win, and I would think they would be. I would think that loss to the Jets would piss them off enough. Okay, Tampa. Tampa got that win, that comeback win, and now they're in Detroit. That's one of the Saturday games. It's Saturday at 1 Eastern. Tampa's in with a winner tie or Chicago lost or tie. And they're playing Detroit, so they should get this. They should. Finally, Arizona, yes. All 4 remaining spots can be clinched in the NFC this week. That's right. Which will leave basically seeding. Arizona can get in the playoffs this week. Win, or Chicago loss or tie. If they tie, Chicago has to lose. And of course, Chicago would be eliminated. Chicago would be eliminated if that happens, as would Minnesota, obviously. The Cardinals are at home against the 49ers, who have been using that place as their makeshift home because there's COVID restrictions in Santa Clara County, and that's also a Saturday game. That's a Saturday game. It's the middle Saturday game because there's 3 of them. So yeah, Zona. So yeah, all 4 remaining spots in the NFC can be locked in, and it could be a matter of seeding that we left. But Week 16 has known to been a week of insane things happening. I still remember Week 16 4 years ago. That was when the Cleveland Browns won their first and only game of the season against the then San Diego Chargers. And that was on Christmas Eve, a nice Christmas Eve present. So, who knows? Week 16, a lot can happen. The word spoiler could be very well emphasized in Week 16. So anyway, those are scenarios for Week 16. It's a lot to track, a lot to follow, and I hope you enjoy this week responsibly and not get too crazy. And it's Christmas, so I wish all you a Merry Christmas. Have a great and safe Christmas with your loved ones, and I'll be back to recap Week 16, or probably celebrate Minnesota's elimination, whichever comes first. But I'll be back to recap Week 16 when all this madness ends to get you prepared for the final week. So until then.